Very good evening to everyone. We are here with yet another virtual session, and today's session is not only we will talk about wellness, but it is more than wellness. And today's speaker, with all of us, I'll introduce today's speaker, Dr. Akhilesh Agarwal. He has done MBA in operations from SMU and is a certified medical practitioner in naturopathy and yoga. And he is specialized in acupuncture, manipulative therapies, physiotherapies, and hold BNY as Bachelor of Naturopathy and Yogic Sciences from SDM College in 1998 batch. Presently, he is owning Atman Holistic Medicare Center and holding a position of President of Indian Naturopathy and Yoga Graduate Medical Association, Delhi chapter. He has worked as CMO for Swami Paramanand Prakritik Chikitsalaya in Delhi and worked as a senior naturopath and yoga consultant at Nature Heals Gurugram as head operation in Blue Lotus Spa and Wellness Center. And previously, he worked in multiple spa centers and worked as a RMO. And currently, he is doing a remote consultation due to pandemic, basically treating patients through lifestyle modification with the understanding of naturopathy and yoga sciences. He emphasizes on certain exercises, daily life activities, home-based naturopathy treatments, dietary changes, what kind of food to be intake, monodiet fasting, different kind of diet and fastings, and how disease can be managed through different programs. He is organized in obesity, diabetes, hypothyroidism, PCOD, asthma, etc. So I welcome you with a small introduction on our platform on your growth. Thank you so much, sir, for spare a small amount of time with all of students. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for inviting me for this talk. Uh, I would like to thank all the organizer of this program. So let's begin. I welcome all the participants who are the audience of this program. Uh, Today I will be explaining what is wellness and how the wellness can be incorporated in our day-to-day life and how we can achieve with simple health modalities or treatments through naturopathy and yoga and some other associated therapies. So let's begin. As already mentioned, my name, Dr. Akhilesh Agrawal. I am holding a BNYS degree, Bachelor in Naturopathy and Yogic Sciences from SDM College, Ujre, and I have done an MBA in operations from Sikkim Manipal University, and currently I am working as a founder and owner of Atman Holistic Medicare Center. So let's begin. First of all, we should understand the concept of health. Already, as a doctors, we know what is health, and from the first year onwards, we understand the concept of health. I'm just revising it. WHO has explained, defined the health as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Health is a goal which everyone want to achieve it. What is physical wellness, mental wellness, and social wellness? We all know these are the dimensions of health. WHO tries to work on these three dimensions, and recently, in few decades ago, he realized there is something missing in the health. So he added, the WHO added one more component of health is spirituality. That is very much important. And as a naturopath, we understand the value of naturopathy, the value of spirituality, as we all studies the philosophy and the science of yoga, which basically based on the spirituality. And this is a very important dimension in nowadays. So let's begin with the. This is the small introduction of health, and I hope you all are aware about the health in a bigger manner. So I am not giving more time emphasis on the health. So coming to the topic of wellness, wellness is something positive health. Means some more component is added to health, then it becomes the wellness. So we can say wellness is a health plus happiness, or when you start enjoying your health in multiple dimensions, then it is considered as a wellness. So wellness, again, it is a modern term. It has a ancient root. If we trace long back in our history, in our philosophy, we can find the concept of wellness. So as the naturopathy, the Dr. Henry Leonard long back explained, it is a harmonious, normal and harmonious vibrations and forces comprising the human entity. So that he has summarized the concept of wellness in his definition of health. So not going to in that direction, just explain the wellness. Wellness is a modern term which has lot of ancient root. We'll trace it, how this the concept of wellness developed. And coming to the, it is a, we can say it is a very high level of health, considering all the human entities, considering the all the dimensions on which human lives. And it is, as the health is a goal, it is a process of achieving the goal. So it is a continuous process. You cannot achieve a wellness in a friction of time, or in a day, or in a week, or in a month. It is a continuous process. You have to devote a time for it, and you have to separately devote, I can say separately devote a time for it. It is a destination. It is, it is not a destination. Sorry. It is not a destination. It is a journey. So you have to every day take a steps towards the achieving the goal. Wellness is multidimensional. As we explained the health as per the WHO has the only 4 dimensions. The last one, the spirituality, is recently added. But wellness has much more than this 4 dimensions. We'll come to the dimensions of wellness. According to Merriam Webster, the quality or state of being is in good health, especially as an actively sought goal. It is a goal. So wellness is explained as it is a good health. And once you start enjoying your health, it becomes the wellness. So basically, a component of happiness should come with the health. Then only it is considered as the wellness. So every decision you make in a day-to-day life will affect your wellness, either positively or negatively. So whatever decisions you are making, decision like drinking of water, having a good food, doing exercise, having a sound sleep, devoting a time for spirituality, or for meditation, devoting a time to the society, devoting a time for the environment. These all factors, whatever you are deciding to do some work, it in some of the other way it affects our body. It can affect in positive way, it can affect in a negative way. If you indulge yourself in an activity which causes the negative reaction to develop in the body, your wellness is affected, your health is affected. If you indulge yourself in the positive activities like gardening, walking, or meditation, your body react to the positive way. So the next is Global Wellness Institute explain the wellness as it is wellness as a active pursuit. It is the activity, choice, and lifestyle that sorry. So again, wellness as the active pursuit of activities, choice, and the lifestyle that leads to a state of holistic health. So now we can say, if the word holistic is added, so it goes to the ancient root. So holistic means the something is related to body, mind, and soul. When the body, mind, and soul, all 3 components are healthy, and you enjoy these 3 components, and you enjoy the harmony of these 3 components, integration of these 3 components, then you can say you are you achieve the goal of wellness. You are working towards the journey of achieving the final goal of health. 3 important factors comes from this definition. First is the it is a active pursuit. It is not a passive or static. It cannot be static. The achieving health or achieving the wellness is always a progressive thing. You have to walk every day. You have to put some of the other effort to achieve your wellness or the health. So it is an active pursuit, which is associated with intention, choice, and action one take towards an optimum state of health or well-being. So it is your own choice. If you choose a good thing, you find a good fruit. If your intention is good, you will have a good satisfaction. If your actions are good, you will have a good fruit of that karma or action. Then coming to the second important thing is wellness is linked with the holistic health. Holistic means again the concept of body, mind, and soul. So the wellness is beyond the only achieving the physical health. It is beyond that. You have to achieve the complete, wholesome, integrated health with the positivity of happiness, the joy. You should have the internal joy. Then you can you are considered to be uh, completely healthy person. You achieve the wellness. Then coming to the third important thing is the wellness is an individual pursuit. It is not a group pursuit. It is your own pursuit. How much effort you give to your health, to your wellness, it depends on that. So one is self responsible for his or her own choice of behavior and lifestyle. You are completely responsible for your behavior. Either it can be a good behavior or can be a bad behavior. So if you are behaving in a good manner, you will have the good impact on your health. If you are behaving in a bad manner, you will have the bad impact on your health. Same way with your lifestyle. If your lifestyle is very active and very healthy, and you manage it with the time management, then you are considered to be, you will have a good health. So, so choice is yours. So you have to choice whether you have to be behaving a very good manner or you adapt the healthy lifestyle. Sometimes it is significantly influenced by your physical, social, and cultural and environmental factors in which we are living. So these are the few factors which affect our choices and behavior and lifestyle. Physical factor, the things where we are in the circumstances where we are living, our physical body, and social means the people surrounding by us, in the group of people in which we are living, that also affect our wellness. Culture, the culture which we follow, the religion which we follow, that also impact our wellness and health. The environment, suppose somebody is living in the hilly environment, living on the mountain, they have a very fresh air, fresh water, everything fresh greenery. So their environment also affects the health. And somebody living in the metro cities like Delhi, Bombay, Kolkata. So their environment is polluted with a lot of vehicles, industries, and other things. So they negatively impact our health. So these three things are very important. First thing is it is an active pursuit. So one should be actively shouting for the health or wellness. Another one is it is beyond the physical. There is a concept of holistic. And third thing is a individual pursuit. You have to individually sort for the good health. Then coming to the dimensions of wellness, there are wellness have 9 dimensions as per the current knowledge of wellness. Wellness has 9 dimensions. Few people may explain the 8 dimensions, but there is a 9th dimension called mental dimensions. And you can further, if I consider the wellness, I add a few more dimensions in which that dimensions also affect our body. That is prana shakti. In yoga, we have heard about the vital kosha. That is pranic kosha, pranamaya kosha. So that also, your pranic energy, your vital energy also affect your wellness or your optimum health. So that dimension should need to be added to the dimensions of wellness, like a 10th dimensions. So coming to the first dimension, the emotional dimensions, which is very important. And that if your emotions are good, you will have good feelings. You have a lot of courage to live. Second dimension is the occupational dimensions. Your occupations, your satisfaction in the occupation, your involvement in the occupation also affect your health and wellness. Coming to the finances, the earning which you earn, the money you earn every day, that also affects your health and wellness. Social, as I explained before, the surroundings, the peoples around us also affect our health and wellness. Environment in which we are living, that also affect our health. And physical things, The physical circumstances also affect our health and wellness. Spirituality, how much time we devote to the spiritual actions like meditations, bhajans, spiritual ceremonies, that also affect our health and wellness. Intellectual, the knowledge we gather, the knowledge we have already earned in the past, the knowledge we earn in the present, and the planning for the knowledge to be earned in the future, that also affect our health and uh, wellness. So these 8 dimensions are important. Lastly, which is added by recently added, is the mental. Your mental attitude, your involvement in the things also affect your health and wellness. So let's study these each dimension in the individual way. Few where naturopath have the role, that will be explained in the elaborated form, and few where we have a very minimum role, that will explained in the little brief concept. So coming to the emotional wellness is very important. If you have a support, if you give a emotional support to somebody, then a small person can do bigger thing. Suppose a small child can do the very big thing. A small study, a small story. If two friends from the village went to the jungle, the forest, and they were playing, they were doing all kind of joyous activities, playing, and suddenly one person, one child fall down into the well. The another one did not have any choice. He wanted to save his friend. So what he did, he sought here and there, and he found some bushes, and he made a rope out of that and put into the well and asked his friend to come up. The the child which was outside, he was very lean and very thin, very weak, and the child which has fall in the well, he was very strong and overweighted. But somehow he was having the emotional connection that I have to save my friend. So he tried to pull his friend, and he was successful. So your own emotions, your own how you see yourself, that works for your health. So emotions are the subjective state of mind. It cannot be objective. It is only the subjective. It is a feeling. If you feel happy in somebody's company, your emotions, you feel good, happy. If you can, you can just feel it. Emotions are the reactions of internal stimuli, such as thoughts and memories. So internal stimuli is your thoughts. If you have a positive thought, then you are happy. If you have a positive memories, suppose you have went for a picnic with a group of friends, or in a family, and you enjoy too much, if you just memorize that scene, you feel happy. Automatically a smile comes on your face. If you have come across some stressful conditions like somebody's death, and you memorize that, and at the same time your body started reacting in a negative way, you feel weak, you feel sad. So that are the internal stimuli. And coming to there are some external environmental factors also which affect our emotions. If you go to the garden, there beautiful flowers are there. The sight of flower sight of flowers start stimulating your particular part of your brain. Then you feel happy, you start enjoying the fragrance and the beautiful color of the flower. Then you start building up a good emotions. So the external factor also affect. If you if you are walking on a road and suddenly you see a accident, then you start immediately, you start feeling weak, fear. That kind of external stimulus also affect our emotions. So the positive environment creates a positive emotions, negative atmosphere, the negative environment create a negative emotions. So always try to be in a positive conditions. But we should be ready to the negative condition, and that negative condition, how our body cope up with that stress, that depends on the day-to-day activities. If our lifestyle is healthy and we do some practices to cope up with that kind of emotional stress, then we can certainly uh, control or the cope up with negative environment. Coming to the next, emotion are the strong feelings. As I said, it is a subjective. It is only the feelings, only the only the individual person himself or herself can understand what kind of feelings they have. The other person can just imagine it. They can just considering in a certain amount that okay, this person is sad, somebody's died in their family, and so that person is sad, but they cannot understand your emotional environment completely. So it is a it's very strong feeling of individual that is derived from some circumstances. The things are happening around us, their our mood and our relationship. If our relations are very good, we feel happy, we have a good emotions. If our relations are bad, if suppose some negative things happen between two lovers, both will feel emotionally very sad. And something happened very good with them, they feel emotionally very good, supportive, or healthy. Same thing, if something happened with the two brothers, they feel something broken. uh, and if something good happens, if they both achieve something good, they feel their bond is very strong. So our relations also plays a very important role in cultivating our emotions. So try to have a very good relations. So happiness is the fundamental right. One should be always happy, and there is no control of others on our happiness. In all the circumstances, whatever situation we have in the life, we should be happy. Always try to be happy. And uh, the person who the healthy person, or the person who is having the good wellness, he or she is always happy in any conditions. And the person has the ability to find out the happiness in all the negative conditions also. So there is always like a two sides of a coin. One side is happiness, one side is sadness. So if you were facing on the sadness side, let it be, some of the other day coin will move. So try to have that positive attitude in yourself, so that you will find a happiness in all the situation. How some And the second thing is how someone react to the environment in his or her life. So as I said before, how we are behaving. If something reaction happen, suppose we are walking on a road and suddenly uh, there is an accident, how we are behaving. Either we can run away from that area, that situation, fearing that somebody police may come and they will ask, inquiring about our, and with fear we run away. Another thing is, the same person have the positive attitude, he goes to that place, ask the person whether he is safe, observe the situation, and accordingly act. If the person needs the ambulance, then he calls for the ambulance. If the person needs little assistance, he gives that assistance. So how you are behaving in a situation, that also affect our health. Then coming to the how we deal with positive and negative emotions in day-to-day life. As I said before, our reaction can be internal reaction or can be external reaction. So how we are reacting to the situations, that is creating the positive and negative emotions. Like a glass of water, uh, if it is a half filled, few people react that it is only half filled, few people react it is a half empty. So the person who realizes it is a half empty, they have a negative emotion. The person who realizes it is a half filled, at least it is a half filled, then they have the positive reaction. So always look for the positive things. There is a thing, uh, our eyes can see, in same situation can see the negative things also, see the positive things. So always cultivate that attitude to see only the positive things, then you will have a very good emotions. So naturopaths have a very strong role in cultivating the emotions. And our science of yoga, our science of bhakti yoga it is called as science of emotional culture. So bhakti yoga, incorporating bhakti yoga in our cultivating the wellness, is a very good tool to achieve the emotional wellness. And counseling, modern counseling also helps in the cultivating the emotional wellness. Then coming to the next, there is 6 basic emotions. There are a lot of emotions, but these 6 are the main emotions, like happiness, sadness, fear, anger, disgust, and surprise. So these emotions are uh, can be positive emotions, sometimes can be negative emotions. So if we see the happiness, everybody wants to be happy. Sometimes the extreme happiness also a kind of negative, have the negative impression. Like most of the time, cardiac arrest happens due to the excessive happiness in the grand functioning ceremonies like marriages, and because of there are factors involved, like in the marriages somebody have a very heavy meal with lot of fat, and then suddenly go have a strong emotional reaction, then this kind of things happens. So all the emotions are having the positive value and the negative value. So it is up to us how we take the emotions inside us, how we are allowing the emotion to affect our health. Benefits of emotions. Emotions are a source of motivation. If you as I have dictated, I have just told one story. The two friends went to the jungle. One fall down into the well. Another one just pick a rope and try to uh, take out him from the well, and he got success. So, emotions are the kind of sources, but sources of motivation. So, if you have a very strong emotions, then it motivates, always motivates you. So, we should have a strong emotions. Always give motivation to yourself, so you can achieve good health, and whatever you are trying to become in a life, you can achieve that. Then coming to the decision making, emotions helps in the decision making. So whatever, if you have two or three choices in the life, then sit back, just observe your breath and meditate and find out which one is, think about the whole everything scenario, and then so that time emotions help us to find out the take a good decisions. Then coming to the emotions help us to understand others well. Always we are human beings, we are surrounded by people every day, we meet lot many people. So to understand the behavior of that people, emotions are the tool to understand them. Emotions such key to mental fitness. Always we'll come to the dimension of mental wellness, but emotions are the root of mental fitness. So if your emotions are good, you will have, you are mentally fit. If your emotions are negative, you are sad, you are not mentally fit, you will have some of the mental issues. Then emotions make us to adapt new changes and move smoothly. So emotions are the tool to adapt the new changes. So these changes can be in the life, these changes can be in the workplace. Suppose if somebody's marriage is there, then that change in the life, you will have a positive emotion that I am going to marry, I am going to start a new uh, dimension of my life, new era of my life. So that positive thing causes the certain changes in the body and you feel happy. Then relation of emotions with the internal organ. So uh, these are well explained in the science of acupuncture or acupressure. Like emotions of anger, resentment, frustration, irritability, and bitterness, they negatively affect our liver. They drain our energy of liver, and you will feel some of the issues with your liver. And liver is the element organ which helps in the brain to functions well, mind to functions well. So if your liver is weak, your decision making, your processing, your planning, everything is affected. Your even your digestion is affected. So to cultivate this, you have to keep your liver with the optimum energy. Then happiness and joy. These two emotions positively affect our the energy of heart. So these two emotions, uh, and lack of enthusiasm, depression, restlessness, and surprise, this negatively affect the heart, and this drain the energy of heart, and you will have some of the issues with your heart, sleep, and moods. So these emotions are associated with the internal organ. Then fear always weakens the kidney. If you have fear in the life, any kind of fear from your childhood to the adulthood, if you have any kind of fear, your kidney is affected. So try to wash out all the fear you have inside your body, then your kidney works optimum. Your weak energy of kidney represent the weak willpower. Have the feeling of insecurity. You always insecure in every situation. You feel isolated. You feel that if you are in a group, then also you feel you are isolated. The group is not giving attention to you. So these kind of emotions comes if the energy of kidney is weak. So the fear and negative energy emotions which affect the kidney causes the bad ill effect on the health. Then worries affect the functioning of our spleen. So whenever you are worried, then your functioning of the spleen is weak. Your immunity is affected. As we all know, we are the medical students. Then, as we know, the main side of immunity is our spleen. So, if the spleen is affected, we have a lot of immune-related issues. So, we should not be worried always. एक हिंदी में कहावत है, चिता और चिंता में सिर्फ एक चंद्र बिंदी का फर्क, एक बिंदी का फर्क है. There is a difference of one small dot on the chita and chinta. There are two Hindi words. So if that dot is removed, person becomes the dead. Chita ban gayi uski. So we should not be worried. Then coming to the other emotions like sadness, grief, and detachment. These weakens our lung functioning of the lungs. So if we are sad, the breathing effects, and might be everybody have experienced this. Whenever we are sad, our heart rate and our respiratory rate becomes weak, is dull. And whenever we are feeling detached, then also our this respiratory rate get affected. And so these are the emotions affect our emotions affect our internal organ positively or negatively. It depends on us what kind of emotions we develop in ourselves. Then, and suppose in case we develop some negative emotions also, we should be skillful. We should be artful to handle this, cope up with this negative situation or negative emotions. Then coming to the emotions and relation of colors. Emotions have strong relation with the color also. Coming to the red color always is a color of love and passion, energy, power, and strength. So these love, passion, energy, power, and strength is this kind of emotions developed by the red color. If we supplement red color, then we supplement these. The red color can be supplemented in any way. You take a red color bath, infrared bath, or you just wrap yourself in a red cellophane paper and take a sun bath. You sit in the red light and do the meditation or stay for some time. You feel your energy level is increased, your physical strength is increased, and you can consume the red color vegetables and fruit. Then also you supplement the red color. So same way in long term, our emotions all related emotions are built up in our body. Anger weakens the red color. Excessive red color have the bad impact, negative impact on our emotion, that it develops the anger relation. If you give excessive red color, then person become angry for small thing. If somebody have the short temperament, it becomes angry soon, then we have to just reduce the amount of red color to his life. Coming to the second color is a blue color. Blue color stimulates the sense of security. Supplementation of blue color improves the sense of security. So sense of security comes with the kidney. I have just explained. So if you supplement the blue color, then you supplement your functioning of the kidney improves, and the fear weakens. The excessive blue color or the means extremities is always bad. Excessive blue color or Coming to the green color is always color for freshness. And you have seen in the hospitals, there are always there is a green color curtains in the hospitals. Green color is always meant for the freshness. The guilt and jealousy, envy, these affects the these negatively affects the green color. So these, if the negative green color is deficient in the body, guilt and jealous kind of emotions develop. If green color is optimum in the body, then it person feel fresh. Coming to the another color is yellow color. Yellow color is always color for happiness and joy. So if the yellow color is good, then we have the happiness and the joy in our life. If the yellow color is deficient in the body, then person is irresponsible. It shows the irresponsible behavior. Orange color is always color for confidence. If somebody is having the lack of confidence, then supplementation of the orange color helps. As I told, that supplementation can be in form of the sun bath or the artificial light bath, or can be consuming the orange color vegetables or fruit internally. So the color can be supplemented externally or internally, both ways. You can find out the tools how we can supplement these colors. And same way, if somebody is having the lack of courage, then the orange color can be supplemented. Lack of orange color develops the emotion of ignorance. And coming to the white color is always color for purity. If white color is optimum in the body, then the person is at the pure heart. He is innocent, like a child. If a child get annoyed with anybody, if we get angry with anybody, in fraction of time he forget everything and again goes to the red person. So that kind of innocence developed with the white color. Goodness. So so white color is very helpful. And coming to the negative, if white color is deficient, person feel isolated and looking for means he feels emptiness. There is nothing in the life. Then black color is represents the protection. So if black color is optimum, then person feel protected. If black color is in negative form, if it is deficient, then person goes towards the death and feel have the mystery. So these are the relation of the colors with the emotions. And I have explained the relation of internal organ and emotions. So you can combine these signs. As a naturopath, we understand these things in a better way because we study the acupuncture, we study the color therapy, chromotherapy. So we can elaborate this connection of these things with the emotions. So a naturopath can work as a emotional wellness consultant also. So this is the new dimensions where we can work. We need to open up these dimensions. Then coming to the next, the occupational wellness. There is a very little role of naturopath in this. We can further elaborate. Like I have done an MBA in operations, so I can work on these dimensions very well. So we need to have some idea about the business management and occupation. Then we can work on this dimension also. So occupational wellness is defined as it is the ability to achieve a balance between work and leisure. So one should be. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it is the ability to achieve a balance between work and leisure in a way that promotes health and sense of personal belonging. To achieve a balance between work and leisure in a way that promotes health. So we have, the person should be able to manage his work and his leisure. Nowadays, a scenario is seen that person to achieve a good faith in the company, to have a good progress in the company, to have to get frequent promotions. They give lot of time to the company. Like a shift is for 8 hours. If the shift is for 8 hours and they try to work for 10, 12 hours, and now it became a tendency of an employer to take that much time of an employee, and now it becomes a burden on the employee to, and it is negatively affecting the health of an individual employee. So our one should be able to balance our working timing and the leisure timing in that way, which promotes our health, a sense of personal satisfaction. Always occupation should give the personal satisfaction. If you are not satisfied with your occupation, then there is no wellness in there. And same way, it should be financially rewarding. It should be we should be always get good finance out of this thing, our occupation. I am just trying to log in again. So there are factors which affect our occupational wellness. One is the one should enjoy his or her occupational role. So in what capacity we are working on, the what position we are working, and what is the role of us in the company or the where we are working, whether it is our own business or own clinic, or we are working for somebody, we should enjoy that position. The position should give us the satisfaction. One, if we are not satisfied, then some of the other way we are negative, we are developing the negative emotions. So we should be satisfied. Try to find out the factors which gives you the satisfaction and the fulfillment. Our job should be fulfillment. It should fulfill our needs. I'm unable to log in again to the, oh, sorry, my internet connection.
No problem, sir.
Okay, once I get an internet connection, then again I will show my slides. So it should be fulfilling. Fulfilling means whatever our basic need is, it should be fulfilled by our occupation. Occupation should give us the happiness. One should be happy in the all the circumstances where whatever is happening in where we are at the workplace. And always the sense of security should be provided to the employees, and the sense of security should be with the employer also. So if it is a vice versa, if the employees are secure, then the employer also is secure. So this kind of things is should be there in the occupation. Then only our occupation, the demand of our occupation role is fulfilled. So how we can be a good model, a good role model for the occupation role? We should always be motivating ourselves. So keep yourself motivated. Always try to find out the factor which motivates you in your occupation, in your job. Always try to hunt for a knowledge and the skills. Always try to find out new knowledge about your occupation, and always try to develop a new skills. Like in the medical field, if we see every day, every minute, there is a improvement in the medical knowledge. So doctor, one should be who is practicing, because whatever knowledge you are gathering in your student life, that is little different from the practical life. And once you are into the practical life, you are in practicing, then the gathering knowledge becomes little difficult. So every day you have to spare some time for gathering the new development happening in your field. Try to find out more and more skills so that you will be competing with the current profile of your job. And finding the positivity in your current job. Always you should have a positive attitude to find out the positive things in your current job. And give me a moment, this one internet. Find out the positivity in your current job, and always work for betterment. So always try to do something better in your job profile, and strive for the study growth. Start with your strive for study growth. Always you should be striving for your growth. So never get satisfied in that sense. Always you have to hunt for a growth. Then only you have a growth in your prospective years. Then coming to the personal setback, another value for the occupational wellness another factor is personal satisfaction. I said your role should be satisfying. So that is the one scenario. Another thing is your personal satisfaction means you have to offer a voluntarily work. Sometimes you yourself come forward and offer a voluntarily work. Offer yourself as a voluntary worker for the company. See, try not to be fixed in your one role. If you are multitasking, if you are multitasking, know the knowledge of another work, then try to offer your help to that work also. And always the appreciation gives the personal satisfaction. So always, if you are team leader, if you are a boss, then always appreciate your employees, the person who are working under you. So appreciation always give you the motivation. It develops the positive emotions. It gives the energy to work more and more towards the achievement of the goal. Always believe in the teamwork. Nobody is the perfect. Nobody can do all the work. So always work in the teamwork. Somebody have a good skill in something. Somebody have the good skill in some work. Somebody have something. So divide the work and work in a team. That work will complete in a less time frame and in a more effective way. And try to develop a very good healthy relations at workplace. So that 4 things will give you this internal satisfaction. So how we can achieve these 4 things? By appreciating everybody's work, by enjoying what we do and enjoy the what others do, then you will be always happy. If you start enjoying your work, then you will be happy. If you enjoy the other work of others, then you will be happy. Then write your goal. Always try to list out all your goals, whatever you wanted to achieve. Then create a plan and then start working on each plan. And then you will be always having the personal sacrifice. Each steps you achieve in your life, you will have the personal satisfaction. Then coming to the another step is a healthy relation at workplace. So healthy relation is always achieved by ignoring. Sometimes we have to ignore the mistakes of somebody. Always, we are human beings. We do some of the mistakes. So we have to always ignore the weakness of others, the mistakes of others, and giving them opportunity, and always give them a support. If somebody is weak at some work, if you know the work better than them, then give the support. So these things can be achieved by communication and collaboration. So we should collaborate with others if they knows the work better, and always communicate. The main relationship issues come with the lack of communication. If you know the language better, then it is always better to sort out the issues with communication. Don't depend on the third person. Always go to that person and sort it out the issues. Feel inspired and be inspiration. Always be inspired by your own deeds and become the inspiration for others. You become a role model for others. And your dedication, your love, your support always define your occupational wellness. So always be helpful, always be dedicated, always be a strong support for others. So this is something is occupational health, occupational wellness. So is it enough for today, or shall we move further for financial wellness?
Yes, sir.
So the second session will be dealing with the financial wellness. That is a very good dimension. One should be strong in the finances, then only we can have a good health, the wellness. Then the social well-being, wellness. Then the physical wellness. We are all well aware about the physical wellness, because as a doctor we work on these dimensions. Then the mental wellness is very important. We as a naturopath should work on that dimension also. Then intellectual wellness. We are only the person to deal with the intellectual wellness, because we have the tool of yoga. So we'll deal with that these dimensions. And the environmental wellness. Again, as a naturopath, we have the strong role in environmental wellness also. Then spiritual wellness. This is the only our cup of tea. Here only we can deliver the best to the society. Then again, the wellness business, the misleading terms. We'll understand the what is the misleading terms in the wellness industry, and what how is the growth of wellness industry. Then the definition, how this the industry origin and how it is going forward. Then a role of naturopath in the current wellness scenario as a spa consultant, managers, acupuncturist, nutritionalist, wellness educator, counselor, wellness educator, yoga and naturopathy physician, lifestyle consultant, and many more. There are different terms coined in this field. So we'll go for these things, and then we'll wind up. We have there are 23 means 22 slides. We have dealt 11 slide today. So we'll go for another slides in the next session. Any questions you can ask?
Thank you so much, sir. The approach was very specific. It was not a gross approach. So I would like to ask two questions, sir, from your like what presented today, sir. Sir, in occupational wellness, how would a student or how would a naturopath should look forward for a patient?
See, as a student, one should be good in the time management. Time management is one part of the occupational wellness. If you are not well versed with the time management, like if you are going for the study, then you have to make a plan that in these hours I will study this subject, in these hours I will study this time, this much time I will keep for recreational activities, this time I will keep for sports, this time I will keep for meditation, and so on. So time management is one of the thing. Another thing is the satisfaction. Student should be satisfied with his progress, and same time he should strive for achieving the good scores, because ultimately the main goal of students is to gather the good knowledge, the theoretical knowledge as well as the practical knowledge. And another thing is to score a maximum mark, so that he should become the to stand first in the his class. So that should be the things. So occupational wellness, if it comes to the student, it comes more mainly for the time management, organizing the things, planning for the study, and something related to how to study. He has to think for how to study. He should have new ideas. So occupational wellness is always related to the new ideas that will come because these all dimensions are interrelated, intermerged. Like we have yin and yang, two energies. The bird of yang is presented in, and the bird of yin is presented in the yang. So these positive and negative energies, all this. It's the same way. All the dimensions of the wellness is intermerged. So one of the other is affecting the another thing. So time management, scheduling, the planning, everything comes to the student life.
Thank you so much, sir. The approach was so good. And my next question is, we always say health is a multifactorial approach. But during the practice or as a physician, we might forget some of the multifactorial approach in a health as a naturopath doctor. So what are the points as a doctor we should keep in mind that this multifactorial approach as a naturopath doctor we should not forget?
See, as a naturopath, our roles and responsibilities towards the society is very vast, very vast. So we should be always open with the new ideas, new knowledge. So first thing is, we should be, as I said, we should be well versed with our current knowledge, current developments. So whatever, see, I have studied the BNY since I have cleared my 4th year in 2003. So since then, that knowledge in this period of time, 18 years, the knowledge has taken, I think, many folds. So development of naturopathy happens many fold. That time there was only two colleges. Now there are more than 50 colleges. So if the knowledge is spending in in multiple directions, in every direction. So you should be gathering more and more current knowledge and incorporate all the knowledge in your practice. If you are missing something, then it is your failure. You should not be. If you are a yoga person, if you are meditating every day, if you are alert to the things, And if you are generous with your practice, then you will never miss anything.
Sure, sir. So we will keep in our mind as a student and as a doctor that we should have that approach. We should not forget the root, what we have learned in our 5 years. So thank you so much, sir. With today's session, a part one of a wellness, or we talk about wellness in India, we should understand by Dr. Akhilesh Agarwal, who have covered a half part of it, and which was so good that we have covered that many approaches. But he said that it is interlinked, so we have to wait for second session of sirs. And as a bird of yin and yang is interlinked with each other, in the same way, today's session is will be interlinked with our second session. So thank you so much, sir, to share your experiences and time of 18 years with all of us in 40 minutes. We hope that second session will be more interactive and more good for all of us. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome, welcome. I thanks to all the audience who have listened me care patiently, and I hope next time they will be allowed to ask questions, or they can just write questions to me, so that next time I can answer all these questions. So you can send your questions to the organizing person, and he will forward it to me, and later on I will just answer it in the second session.
Thank you
Hope
so much.
you all have enjoyed this talk, and we'll wait for the second one. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.